Well, you guys, I'm roasting. We got rained on. We got it set up different today because we were expecting the rain, but not while we were trying to set up. So yeah, it happened quickly. Now it's not raining now, but I'm not setting up the whole booth because it is what it is. I'm just like, I feel out of sorts because it's not the normal setup. But we were trying to do it to where things were more towards, we could have them a little in away from the sides so that when we drop the walls and everything, which we had to do, and scoop things back. And of course, I've had my Sanderson sisters for a whole year. First time I bring them back out, they drop in the water on the ground. Yep, two of them did. One of them's really, really wet. So we're not thrilled about that one. Anyways, it is 5:50 and not a whole lot's going on. We've had a few sales and I'm starved already. I'll have to send John for some food soon. Hello everyone, it is Saturday night, the day after market, and after I slept most of the day away, I am now ready to do this. I did sit and make a couple of things and just kind of relaxed. I'm at the end of season 14 of Supernatural. One more season left and then I can move on to something else. So I've been watching that today as well. But I got up this morning exhausted. We had to empty the stuff out of the car because it rained, of course. So we had to open up the canopy so it could all dry, hang up the sidewalls, take the sandbag weights out of the car, all that good stuff. And I had 2 casualties at the market. One of them, and I was so mad, was one of the Sanderson sisters, the blonde. It fell, landed on the wet pavement, and soaked up water like a sponge. I held on to those things for a year. First time out, one of them hits the ground. I'm like, why? And the other one, I might be able to fix. My dinosaur. The back has split on the inside and the safety eye is coming out. Very mad about that. I'm like so done with sinker eyes. But what I think I can do, because the head is made separate and then sewn on, I'm not sure. I'll try it first, just cutting open the back of the head. Pull the stuffing out and see if I can't repair the eyes. If that doesn't work, then I can remove the head and just make a new head for it. But I'm so angry. This is like the 3rd plushie in a week that the safety eye has, one of the eyes has come out. And I'm like near done with these sinker eyes. Just over it. Anyways, So we get to the market. We had the same spot that we had last time. I think that that is going to be my permanent spot while I am there, which is nice. So with the weather forecast and the way the sky looked, we knew we were going to get some rain. And we did. Before we even got to finish setting up, we got the canopy up. We started to set up some of the tables. And I said to John, let's move them in a little bit away from the sides. I mean, we had the panels attached, but up. But I said, let's push the tables in a little bit away from the sides. And we set it up completely different because of the weather. And boy, did that throw me off for the whole night. I just felt totally out of place. I was uncomfortable. I didn't have my spot. Like, I didn't feel like there was a place for me or for John. And, oh, yeah. So we get the tables almost set up. We're putting together the wire shelving, and the rain starts. So we had to move everything in underneath the canopy. So now we're tripping over all of that. We're bumping into each other, because the tables are closed in a little. Just was not fun. Kind of put me in a little bit of a mood, if you know what I mean. I eventually got past that, but I still felt uncomfortable most of the night because things just weren't normal. And, when you get used to something, it's rough to change it. So what we were thinking, the way it was set up, and it was a more closed-in space. So when people were inside the booth, other people couldn't see. So they were coming from the outside, not from the front facing, but the side facing. It's like there's some space there, and then like a median, for the lack of a better word. So it's almost like having two facings. So I was telling John, next time, if they put us in that same spot, I want to set it up to where people don't come into the booth. Have everything up to the front of the booth and to the side of the booth, like an L, and they shop from the outside, and that gives us and our stuff all the space up underneath the canopy, so we have a place to be. But that's only if there's no rain. So we'll have to, the weather will make a big deciding factor on that. But just watching people shopping it through the back side of the shelving, I was like, this is crazy. I can't watch the inside and the outside at the same time. A couple of times I had to ask John, could he get his head out of the phone? Can he look up and help me pay attention to what was going on? Because it was just, the way it was set up, it was too hard to watch. It was hard to watch. So we got a very slow start for, it seemed like, the longest time. Even though it wasn't. I mean, we had our first sale at 5:24, and the market starts at 5:30. But it felt like a lot of time went in between sales. That's how it felt. It wasn't necessarily how it was. But people, after the rain stopped, I want to say it was somewhere around 6-ish, I think, when the rain stopped. And then people started coming out. There was a lot of people, but they were not spending at all. I mean, they were looking, they were touching, they were moving everything. They dished out all kinds of compliments, but people just weren't spending any money. And I was getting a little worried, I'll tell you. To be honest, I was getting very concerned. I mean, by By 6:30, the first hour, I had made my boob fee back. So it wasn't so much that, but I was just like, this is I think, our 4th or 5th time there. Our 4th time. It would have been our 5th time, but we missed the one in July. And the 3 previous times, we had topped over $700. And this time was not feeling like it was going to happen at all. And spoiler alert, it didn't happen. People just weren't spending. And if they were spending, they were buying low-priced items. I did set up a clearance bin. And things went in that, like, they weren't quite right. Or I've had it since the very beginning, like my first market, and I still have more of that stuff sitting here. And then this one, oh my gosh. I did a pattern test for someone. I don't even remember the person's name now. But I was not pleased with the end results of this pattern. And I was actually a little shy, embarrassed, apprehensive, whatever words you want to use, of showing it and sharing it on the channel. And I never took it to market. I was so unhappy with the results at it. Well, I took it last night and I put it in that clearance bin, got lots of looks, and got shoved right back in the bin. And people love digging in the bin, let me tell you. And it eventually did sell. And I was shocked. I took my scrunchies, which I haven't taken in a while. I took the market bags, which I haven't taken in a while. They got looks, but they didn't get sales. I mean, people they were not in a spending mood last night. Tons of compliments on the Sanderson sisters and Billy. Tons of it. Same thing with the Ninja Turtles. Tons of compliments on the Ninja Turtles. Tons of people looking through the Pokemon. Just people were not spending. I mean, you can't make them spend. I mean, if I can get them in the booth, then I did good. But getting them to part with their hard-earned money, that's another story. So, yeah. We had the rain during setup for a very small portion of the market. There were some pretty good-sized puddles around us. And then when it came time to break it down, don't you know it started sprinkling again? I was like, are you kidding me? So now we're rushing because we don't want the plushies to get wet. And we hurried up and put things in the car. Nothing was put away right. So even though I knew we had to take stuff out to dry it out, I was like, I don't really care. Let's just get it done. I'm ready to get out of here. I don't want to drive home in the dark, in the rain. But yeah, so right at the beginning and right at the end, we got sprinkles. Now, at the end, it was a very light sprinkle. It never did really downpour, but the threat of it was enough to make you a little concerned. So let's see what happens with the sales. The very first sale of the day was at $5.24, and it was a chicken and egg. I don't even remember who bought it. I was that stressed till in the beginning. And of course, it was still raining then. The next item to sell was a blueberry keychain. And of course, that one I just freehand. I don't follow any pattern for it or anything. Then we sold at $5.39 a yellow chick on a swing. And I want to say that went to a little kid. You know, it wasn't like an adult looking for it to hang in their car. Then we had our first, actually the next 3 sales came out of the clearance bin. I think. Maybe not. Let me see if it tells me anything when I click on that. It does not. Okay, so I don't know if it came out of the clearance bin or not. Oh my God, I have no idea. But we sold a rooster. And then we sold these 2 have been around since before last Christmas. A giraffe and a cow. Both of them are Madeline Mako patterns. And like I said, they've been around since last Christmas. They have been at every market, never get any attention, and those sold. At 6:23, now we're almost an hour into the market, a Bob the Booty Frog sold. Then 12 minutes later, we sold a hanging plant. It was one of the harder ones. I can't think of the name of the actual plant. But it was one of the harder ones, you know, it's very viney, and I think it's the one that has the little puff stitches on it. But I don't remember what that's called. It's not the Burrows tail, it's something else. We sold a mini loaf cat. It's bigger than the keychain, but I was making them to put them in the box for the cat in the box, which I haven't made in forever. Then we sold another mini loaf cat and a extra small mini bird. Those little small mini birds, when they're gone, they're gone. I won't be making them anymore. Then at 7:08, we sold a penguin on a swing. And at 7:13, another plant hanger and a swing. And a dashboard duck. And a manatee. I see. It does say. Okay, I see how to read this thing now. Then we sold at 7:18 one of the Labubu head keychains and one of the little octopus from All From Jade that I made to match the giant octopus. At 7:30, we sold one of the wiener dogs. At 7:38, we sold a chicken and egg. At 7:39, we sold a mini scrump. At 7:41, you can see now it's starting to pick up 2 hours into this. At 7:41, we sold a possum keychain, free pattern off of Instagram. And at 7:53, we sold a chicken and egg and a mini Oogie. At 7:56, we sold a frog on a swing. At 8:04, we sold a heart keychain. At 8:11, we sold a, this did come out of the clearance bin, I know for sure. Back when everybody had started making the Diddy Dex baby dragon, and they were putting them in the 3D printed eggs, I had bought a different baby dragon pattern, and for the amount of work, it was like this big. And again, I've had it at every single market and nothing. So I tossed that in the clearance bin, and it sold. Finally. And what I do is, like, do I have a price tag sitting here? Of course not. Well, okay, this is an old one. So if I have the price tag, it's got the The original price, I'll draw a line through the original price. And then off to the side, write the new price. That way they see what kind of discount they're getting. And I don't mark it down much, a couple of dollars. And just see what happens. So that was that baby dragon. Then, these whale sharks. We sold one at $8.13. But the funny thing with those whale sharks, because the way they're made, there's an opening in the mouth. And I don't care how old the person is, whether it's a 2-year-old or a 92-year-old, and every age in between, they will pick up that shark and their hand immediately goes into that shark's mouth. It's like, why? Why? And John and I just look at each other and we're just amazed at everyone that picks one up, that's the first thing they do is stick their hand in that shark's mouth. But we sold a whale shark at $8.13. Also at $8.13, we sold a dashboard duck. At $8.16, we sold another chick and an egg. Then at $8.17, we sold a hippo baby and a Mabel chicken with wings. At $8.22, we sold 3 sugar skulls, 1 Pop-Tart keychain, and an itty-bitty snake, all to the same person. This lady was so funny. She's here visiting from somewhere else, and she's like looking around to make sure her friends don't see that she's buying stuff. It was pretty funny. Then we sold two bees, those bullet-shaped bees, 1 rainbow, 1 black and yellow. Then we sold that dragon. I was just happy to get something for it because I was ready to cut it open and just pull the polyfill out and lose the price of the yarn. But I put a $25 price tag on it and it sold. And at least I got something for it. Then when I was gathering everything up and I was looking, this is what started this, is I was looking for the Sanderson sisters. So I'm going through all the totes, and the very last tote that I get to, I find the Sanderson sisters in. Well, as I was picking through these, I'm finding little things. Like the first time I tried that free banana pattern on Instagram, I did them in Parfait Chunky, and they came out like really small. So little stuff like that I was finding, I was just putting the keychains on them and throwing them in the keychain bin. I mean, by themselves as a little individual plushie, I don't think, they were so small, I don't think I could have got much for them. But at least this way, it's moving them out and getting them out there for people to see and hopefully somebody to love and purchase. So one of them was when I first tried doing the embroidered eyes on the octopus, the one I did the tutorial on. My first octopus that I made, I did in Parfait Chunky, and it was very small. And I wanted to be able to put a price on it, but it was very small. So I came across that, put it on the keychains. The bananas I put on the keychains. There was a few things, and there's more that I can add keychains to, but I had to order some more ball chains because they don't match the clips. And I just think it should match. So that was at $8.36. At $8.37, I am pleased to announce I sold my first spider. So we sold the spider and a black and yellow bee. Then at $8.41, the sitting cat, the new pattern that I just got, that the shop that I got it from, was selling the stolen pattern, and I found out, you guys know the story. But the last one that I did, the calico that I put the safety eyes in, that sold. Then we sold another loaf cat, the little mini ones. I think I only have one left of those now. We sold a mini bird, and I call it the fancy chicken because it's the mustard, the black, and the red. So I call it, it's a fancy chicken. Then at 8:48, I am pleased to announce we sold another jumping spider, an itty bitty snake, and a small caterpillar. At 8:49, that last, hour and a half is very busy. At 8:49, we sold the Cookie Mouse that was the body of Oak and Marlowe, but it had my mouse head on it. So we sold that. At 8:50, I sold a mini jellyfish. At 8:52, one of Avery Crafts-A-Lot's squirrels. At 8:54, another mini loaf cat. At 8:58, the flamingo that had the little bolero hat on. That sold. Then at 9:01, the lady came back that was trying to keep her friends from seeing that she was buying stuff. And she bought the kiwi turtle, a minion, an axolotl, and the 4th sugar skull. Then at 9:08, 2 Myrtle the turtle. At 9:11, it was a fruit fish and another one of the extra small mini birds. At 9:16, we sold a dashboard duck, or rubber duck, and the parrot or parakeet on a swing, the Pocket Snuggies pattern. This was the first time it went to market, and it sold on its market debut. And the very last sale of the night was at 9:31. Market ends at 9:30, and it was another plant on a swing. And as far as the plants on a swing go, the spider plant with the artichoke green color, that sold again. So it was one of the plants that had the fancy stitch. I think the one with the puff stitch, the spider plant in the artichoke green, and then the agave plant that I gave it the orange pot. Those were the 3 that sold out of those. All right, so total sales. Well, let's do, where's it at? No. Okay, so I've been going through and putting everything into categories like keychains are keychains, car swings are car swings, plushies are plushies. I put in other crochet for like the scrunchies and the market bags. So as far as categories go, plushies we sold 36. Clearance items we sold 15. Car swings we sold 7. And keychains we sold 6. So of those, the best sellers were, tied with 4 each, is the chicken and egg and the sugar skulls. And that was a Poggy's Place pattern that comes with a whole bunch of Halloween stuff, but I wanted it just for the sugar skulls. And when I displayed them, I had them up on the same shelf as the Sanderson sister dolls, and just below that was Jack Skellington, Oogie, the the baby demis, and, you know, like anything that could be considered Halloween related was basically on these two shelves. And of course now one person bought all four, so I don't know if that's necessarily setting a trend, but they sold on their market debut. And coming in at second, we have a three-way tie with the 3 plant swings, the 3 rubber ducks, and 3 bullet-shaped bees. My mind is boggled with the bees. Absolutely boggled with the bees. So, my highest priced item that sold was the clearance dragon at $25. Most of the stuff was between, like, lowest price being $5 and the highest price being $20. But for the most part, everything was $15 and under. So we sold a total of 64 items, which is higher than my market average. I usually average around 40 items a market. We're going to toss that, give it that credit to the clearance thing, because if we took that 15 off, we would be right at our 40. So we're going to say that's what did it for us there, item-wise. Dollar-wise, we did not come close to the $700 mark, which, like I said, at this particular market, each time we've been there, with the exception of last night, we have done over $700. So, I mean, we still didn't do horrible considering it rained and it got off to a slow start because of the rain. And, you know, I think people started to come out once they realized, hey, the rain is gone, we can go now. But we did total sales of $634. Of that, credit card was $499, cash was $135. My square fees were $17.31, so that left me with $616.69. And if we take my setup fee of $70 out of that, that left me with $546. Not a bad night, but definitely what I have, not what I have, like, got accustomed to at that market. I mean, 4 times is not like, like I'm always there. I mean, it's not like it's a regular thing, but it's going to be a regular thing. And I don't know, I just expected a little better, a little bit better. Anyways, lots of people, they were just tight with the wallet. My average sale was $14.74. We had 43 transactions. But that might be, I don't know, is that total the cash or is that just the cards? I have no idea. 64 items, 43 transactions. And I don't know what else I can say. That's just how it went. We didn't get out of there till like 10:30, even though we were rushing. It just seemed to take us forever. And by the time we got home, it was close to 11:30, but we did have to stop at the Circle K. John needed to pick something up. I don't even remember what it was. Oh, he needed milk for his coffee in the morning. And that place is like, even though there were no customers in the store, they're always so slow. Their register system is terrible. Anyhow, I have a market coming up, the regular market, the one that I've been doing twice a month, this coming Friday, weather permitting. And hopefully it's as good as it was last time, or as good as its average is, where last night was more like the average at that one than what this one had been. Anyways. Oh, it is what it is, right? So I didn't sell any big items, so I don't need to make any. Now, there are a few things that I do need to remake, but they're smalls, they're quick, they're easy. I need to make chicks and eggs. I need to make sugar skulls. Well, I don't need to, but I should, because, like I said, I made the 4. They all sold. Now the pattern is paid for. So if I make another 4 and they sell, I will have turned a profit on the pattern. So I need to make chicks and eggs, the sugar skulls, some plants on a swing, rubber ducks, and some bees. Those are the only things that I need to make. Anything else that I make this week is going to be because I want to, but I will not add them to my market bags until the first market of October, because I have a lot of stuff and I want to, it's time that it starts to sell through before I start putting all the new stuff out again. Unless it's something I'm super excited about, then maybe I'll think about it. I really wanted to take the dragon and the big pillow cat and the big octopus, and I'm so glad I did not take it last night because of the rain. And, people just weren't spending. It just would have been all those people handling stuff and moving things around, making me crazy for no reason. And I don't want that stuff damaged. So they're not going yet. They will go for November, December, definitely for sure. But I am really glad I did not take them with me last night. I would have been super bummed if one of those would have hit the water puddle like the Sanderson doll did. I just cannot believe that. I've had those dolls for a year, packed away for a year, waiting for spooky season. And I know it's not quite here yet, but I need to take advantage of what markets I have just in case I get rained out to try and sell some of these things, because, I just don't want them hanging around. But yeah, that would have been my luck. If they would have gone with me, one of them would have hit the puddle. And then I would not have been a happy camper. It's going to be a long night for me. I am going to be awake for a while. Anyways, all right. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out with me and listening to me whine again. Don't you ever just want that one perfect day where nothing goes wrong and everything is in your favor and your sales are fantastic and just everything goes right? I mean, is that really a lot to ask for? Probably. Anyhow, I will see you guys in the next video.